Everyone, how are you doing today? So today I thought we would focus on a vinyasa flow, but we're going to focus a little bit on some hip opening. We'll probably combine that a little bit with some massage on the neck as well, and just a little bit of on the face, which I find quite nice to, if you tend to feel like quite puffy or quite congested with your sinuses at the moment. It's quite a nice practice to literally just use some warm hands to very lightly, not even that deep of a massage, to just brush along your face, to sort of move that fluid along. And we'll work a little bit on the jawline as well, again, to just release some of the tension in the deeper muscles of the face. So let's start in our seated position. Let's place hands on the knees and just take a little bit of time here for yourself to breathe. Sometimes, that deep breath in and a big sigh out really makes quite a big difference to helping you settle into the space, to sort of allow your body to let go of anything that happened before this moment. Maybe thinking of ways, while we're sat here, letting your mind land with your body. In other simple spaces throughout your day, especially when you most need it, or when you definitely know you've got that 30 seconds of time to just breathe and stop. Are there any other parts of your day that you could allocate this time to, rather than always waiting for time on the mat to get that, maybe, eyes closed, deep breaths, just to catch up with yourself? Maybe it's that cup of tea while you wait for the kettle to boil, rather than checking our phones. Maybe just taking that kettle boil time to take a deep breath in and out, similar to how we're beginning our yoga class. Maybe making a little vow to yourself to give that a go this week. And we'll see at the, next week or then the weeks after, if you found that slotting in that practice made a difference to your week or the rest of the day. Nice. We're going to gently blink, open the eyes. And then we're going to give our rib cage just really small circles. So normally we draw quite a big circle with the rib cage. Maybe today just really tiny. Well, medium. And then let's go the other way. Nice one. Okay, we're going to take the feet out in front of us. And starting to firstly drop one knee down. Both knees down, to one side. And then the other. And now progressively we're going to try and touch one knee down towards the floor. So if we're going to the right, we're trying to touch the left knee to the floor. Going to the left, try and touch the right knee to the floor. Nice. And then come back to seated. We're going to take the left leg under us for fire log pose. The knee pointing to about 11 o'clock and the ankle at 1 o'clock. And then we're going to take the right leg on top. So we're going to try and put the ankle over the knee and the knee over the ankle. You may find this is happening, in which case your first step is to take the hands next to your body, and you're going to try and shuffle the weight rather towards the back of the bum, slightly a little bit more upward, through the spine and forward. So we're going to give those rocks a go. Hands to the side, roll all the way back, so exaggerate the movement backwards. And then we're going to bring the chest up and start to roll the pelvis forward. And again, roll it back and roll it forward. Roll it back and roll it forward. Okay, you're going to stay as forward as possible. Some of you might find the fingertips on the floor really helpful to hold it there. Well, some of you may find you can't quite come forward, so you're kind of stuck maybe midway a little bit, in which case this is going to ping up a tiny bit. You're going to take a pillow, drop it under that knee, and use your hands to help bring the pelvis forward. And you're going to use hands on the floor. Give somewhere soft for your knee to try and land onto. And you're working on just slowly shifting that weight forward into the hips a little bit more. Now, if you're quite comfortable there, you feel you can leave your hands and not roll back. You're going to take the elbows, one onto the arch of the foot and the other one onto the knee or the inner thigh. And the motion I'm using is slightly outward rolling. Not massively, again medium. Elbows on and slightly roll them outward. We're going to hold this for a little bit. And for some of you, if you kind of find this pretty approachable and you feel like you would like to get deeper into this posture, feel free to take the hands to the floor and drop your weight all the way down. So again, just being mindful about how your body responds, no matter which option you've taken, whether your hands are still on the floor, or you've gone for the elbows, or you've dropped all the way forward, that we're not overloading and overstressing the body. We want a little bit of load, as that helps heal our tendons, ligaments. But we don't want to over-maximize the sensation of load on them. So again, a nice medium point. Nice. Okay, use your hands and help you come all the way up. Right hand is going to go on the left foot. Keep the chest high, so bring your other hand to really pull that chest up. And then use your hands again to help rotate a little bit to the left. And again, it's like a 10-degree movement, really little. Maintaining that uprightness in the lower spine instead. And then roll yourself back to the front. Amazing. So release the pillow, take the legs out in front, and give them a bit of a stretch. And let's do the other side. The right leg under, the knee is pointing to about 1 o'clock. Ankle and toes are about 11 o'clock. So, so we swap them around. Ankle over the knee, hands to the side. And again, we're just going to take our time to roll back and feel the difference in rolling forward. Might feel a bit tender rolling forward because we're giving that side glute a lot more of attention as we roll forward. So again, take your time with that roll. Nice. And then we're going to park it forward. And again, use your pillow if you need to. Find a nice position. And then getting the elbows on and widening the direction of the elbows. Feel free to deepen into the posture by coming forward more. You could even actually, instead of going all the way down, fingertips can come to the front. And you can just head a little bit of an increment lower that way rather than all the way. And when you're ready, rolling yourself back up. Left hand on the right foot. Right hand to help lift the spine up, lift chest up. And you're going to just rotate again just a little bit. 10, 15 degrees towards the right. Nice. And moving it back to the front. Let's come onto hands and knees whenever you're ready. We're going to head into our flow, focusing on the hips, hands and knees. All right, first one, just a little bit of our cat and cow, rocking into that pelvis. So again, think of how we rolled to the back of the bum earlier and rolled forward. Maybe kind of feeling into those motions. Okay, and then now take it to a bit of a neutral tailbone stance. Pull the nose away from the floor and shift the shoulders a little bit over the wrists. Watch what your lower back is doing, that it isn't dumping down. We're going for neutral. Once you set your hips to neutral, your belly should sort of follow suit without, doing too much. It's when we start to tip the hips up that the belly maybe goes a little bit unsupported by our muscles on the side. So again, neutral and long, flat tailbone. Okay. Shift the weight into that right knee a little bit, so a tiny little bit of movement there in that hip. And send the left toes really light on the floor. So we're not turning the toes in and squashing the weight into the floor. The toe is literally touching the floor. That tailbone still working to be neutral to help support the midsection. And we're just going to take the left toe really light. Again, it's so light it could just ping off the floor to draw a quarter circle all the way to the side. And again, really light through. And take it back, draw that quarter circle towards the position behind you. And again, roll it to the side and hold there. Take it back all the way behind you and roll it to the side. All the way behind you. And we're going to slide the knee back. Okay, now start to shift into the hips, left and right. Maybe really looking for a little bit of that end range of movement on the left. And we're going to hold it there. Looking for the end range of movement on the right. And then holding it there. And then back to all fours. Give your wrists a bit of a shake. Maybe kind of flip the palms upwards and squash them on the floor that way. And let's try the other side. So again, tailbone long. Shifting the weight into the left knee. And you're going to slide those light right toes behind you. Again, light. Your thighs are sort of, not fully active and on, but they are not dumping the weight down into the floor. Everything just gently holding there. Sliding the toes to the right hand side. And sliding the toes to the back. Nice. And again, light, super light toes. You could almost try bouncing them even, like draw rainbows all the way to the side. And draw little rainbows all the way to the back. So nice and light. And again, we can either slide or draw rainbows all the way to the side. And then take it all the way back. Place the knee back on the floor. And again, we're going to sink our weight into one side of the hip and really let the weight drop. And then to the other side, and let the weight really drop into the side hip. Nice. Okay, so now palms to face up and fingers pointing outwards. We're just going to bring the weight over the wrist a tiny bit, reaching the fingers long. Taking a few breaths here. Nice. And now place the fists on the floor just for a little bit of a different point of contact rather than the palms. Stretching that left foot out, and this time we're placing the sole of the foot on the floor and pushing the weight a little bit into it there. All right, from here we're literally keeping that foot sole on the floor as much as possible, seeing if we can sit the hips back to the heels, and then calm up and lean shoulders over the wrists. And then sinking it back again. And taking your time with this, kind of giving the hips to heels end range a little bit of time, so not just moving straight away out of it, all the while really trying to stretch the sole of the foot to the floor. And coming back up. Nice, bring the left knee in, and we'll go the other side. Right foot out and pressing into the right sole of the foot. Sending the weight backwards, hips to the heels. And again, just a little hold while you try and smoosh the sole of the foot to the floor. Coming back up, shoulders over the wrists. Doing this 2 more times. Take it back. And forward, shoulders over the wrists, roll it back. And roll it, shoulders over the wrists. Nice, bring the knees back in. And this time coming back onto the palms. Shoulders are going over those wrists. And we're starting to lift the base of that right palm. So squashing into the fingers a little. Hold it there. Few breaths here. And drop the base of the palm down. Now left palm to come up. And drop the base of the palm down. Nice. Tuck those toes. We're going to sink the hips back to the heels first. Lift the knees up and stretch out into those arms. So the knees kind of open up to the side a bit as you come into this quite crouching, knees off the floor, child's pose. And from here, start to ripple the hips up and bend your right knee. Let's sink the left heel to the floor. Taking a few breaths here. Now bending into the left knee and sliding that right heel to the floor. Nice, and from here start to step to the front of the mat. Feet hip width apart, bending at the knees and holding those elbows, shoulders relaxed towards the floor. Bending into the right knee and stretching into that left leg. Now what you can do here is also start to lift that left elbow. So you're almost gonna like open it up, like we're trying to stretch a little bit more into that left rib cage, left waist, left belly. And then drop it down, bend into the left knee. Just try and straighten that right leg. And then open up through that right elbow. It's like you're kind of peeling back a curtain towards your belly. And rolling back into your forward fold. Release those arms and just take your time. Come up for a halfway lift. Start to bring the hands onto the shins and then take your halfway lift again. Right, really allowing your tailbone to uncurl and try and find a nice flatness in the tailbone. Nice and long through the back of the neck. And bend the knees, slowly bring the body up into standing. Bring the toes together. The heels nice and close, with a little distance in between. Like if you look down, there's like 2 finger distance between the heels. Sides of the toes are touching. Nice. Inhale. Let's lift the hands up. Exhaling, come down to your fold. Hands on the shins today. Inhaling, try and find that flattened tailbone and the head and eyes look forward. Bend the knees, bring the palms down, stepping the feet back. Holding here for a little. Right? Making sure that tailbone feels nice and long so that your midsection of the body feels naturally kind of supported. Now we're going to pick that left knee and bend it up to the body and see how it feels to just ping it out to the side. Take it back behind you and then push into your downward facing dog. Rolling the shoulders out to the side. Taking this few breaths here. Sliding the weight up towards the hips. And then start to look forward in between the thumbs. Take the feet back. And again, kind of find a nice long tailbone. Supported through the midsection. This time bending the right knee. Hold it close to the body. And open it out to the side. Slide the foot back. Bend into your downward facing dog. Push the mat away, stretching into the shoulders. Look to the front of the mat. Bring the feet forward, hands on the shins. Long through the tailbone, long through the neck. Look forward. Bend the knees, come down with the body. And then nice strong schlup up. We're going to come to standing. Reach the hands upwards. And bring the hands to the side. Let's do that in some kind of variation. Again, come up. Come into your forward fold. Hands on the shins, look forward. Find a length through the spine. Palms down and step your feet into your plank position. Find that long tailbone stance. Bend the left knee towards the chest. Send the leg out to the side. Bring the foot down into your downward facing dog. 1 or 2 breaths here. Nice, preparing to come into your second plank. Nice and sturdy through the midsection. Bending the right knee close to the body. Send the knee out to the side and take it back into your downward facing dog. Again, nice 2 breaths here. Rolling the shoulders out to the side. They're sort of peeling away from your ears. Pushing into the hands and the hips, high into those hips. Look to the fingers, step to the front, hands on the shins, lengthen the spine, and come down to your fold. Bend the knees and roll yourself up sturdy from the legs. Lift those hands and bring the hands down to the side. Let's go again. We'll add a little bit more. Up into your forward fold. Hands on the shins. Lengthen up the spine. Bring the palms down and you're going to head into your plank position. Again, the left knee goes in, the left knee goes out, but this time the leg goes back, but we're going to hover it above the mats. And from here, keep Pulling that leg up, direct it to a three-legged downward facing dog. And then step the foot to the front. We're not going to drop the weight. We're going to send it back straight away. Three-legged downward dog, reaching high with the foot. We're going to do that one more time. Bring the weight forward, ping, and back again. And then into your downward dog. Roll out the shoulders. Nice and soft through the legs. Nice one. Okay, when you're ready, find your way into your plank position again. Right knee in, right knee to the side, and send the foot up into your three-legged downward dog. Point the toe, look forward, slide the foot to the front, land light, and take it back. All the way up. Let's give it another go. Bring it forward. Land light and take it back. Up. And one more time. Take it forward. Land light and pull it all the way up. Stretch open the hips before we bring the foot down to your downward dog. And just roll in the shoulders. Relax through the head, walking out the heels. From your step to the front, lengthen the spine, and down to your full bend the knees to roll yourself up into standing. Bring the hands down to the side. Nice inhale, come up again, reach up. Exhaling down into your fold, hands on the shins, lengthen the spine, and take the palms down, this time again into your plank. We won't do that sequence again, but we're going to drop the knees down. Bring your heels to, hips to your heels, drop the forehead down, and we're going to stretch the fingers and spider them forward. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, release the shoulders, release the elbows to the floor. Take a breath here. So while you're in your child's, we're going to slowly turn the knees more out to 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. Let your body drop in between the thighs, and maybe for some of you it becomes more comfortable at this point to drop onto your chin rather than your forehead. Okay, bring the hands under the shoulders. You're going to push yourself up into the seated position so the knees are nice and wide here. Hands to the front, tuck your toes. You're keeping the knees wide and maybe a little wider as you come up. Working into a balance. You could keep the hands on the floor, fingertips on the floor, or one hand over the thigh, other hand over the thigh, and just find a little balance here. Trying to maybe stare at something that's not moving. Bring the fingertips back on the floor, creep them forward, lift the hips into your downward facing dog. Your left leg is going to rise up. I'm going to start drawing circles with the leg. So you're not going to go too fast and just spin the leg around, but just moving in a nice slowish pace. Again, something medium, not too slow. Just taking your time, that concept of taking a little bit of extra care and time. Just allowing yourself to be present with the circles you're making through your hips. And we're going one more circle. Nice. before we land that left foot sort of slightly behind the hands. Your right toes are going to point out diagonally, the heel down to the floor, fingertips up on the floor, and lengthen up the spine. Wiggle the left hip slightly back, and from here start to drop into your fold. Your hands can widen. That actually really helps you drop down and also helps you find stability as you fold down. Taking a few breaths here. Nice. Now we're going to widen the feet, so fingers towards the front. Kind of wriggle the foot forward and bend into that left knee. And start to curl those back toes. So your heel is pushing back behind you. Your hands are supporting you. And for me, my chest is dropped over my thigh. So I've got that for some support as well. We're literally just holding in this position. Nice. We're going to ease out of it. So just straighten into the front leg. Drop yourself into that fold. And then use your hands for balance and help again. We're going to just widen the foot. Take one step with the foot. And similar again, drop down. So this time my thigh is touching the left side of my body. One more breath here. And then straighten into the leg, drop the body forward into space. And we're going to go one more. So you might bring the hands on the inside now, heel toe the foot one more distance before we sink into the hip. Nice. And from here, plant those palms. We're going to take the leg back into your downward facing dog, sinking the weight backwards. Oh, calibrating your breath. When you're ready, let's try the other side, bringing that right foot up in your three-legged downward dog, but then you're going to draw circles. Again, up to you which direction of circle you feel is quite nice. And again, going to that concept of just being mindful with how we're moving, not rushing through the movement, really trying to get all angles of your hip joint. It should feel quite nice, quite stretchy in those areas where sometimes we don't get that, to access that, that range of movement just by living every day. It's quite nice to give it that attention so you get it to that open range of movement that's there. One more circle. Nice. And now we're going to take the foot and plant it slightly behind the hands. Your left toes diagonal. Come up to your fingertips. Bring yourself tall with the spine. And then just rock into those hips. You're trying to let your right hip a little bit sink and pull backwards. From here, change the hands wider. Start to drop yourself down into your forward fold. If you notice by coming into this fold that you've tensed up your head to try and touch your leg, so you're kind of turtling your whole back with any contraction, I want you to try and let go of that contraction. And if that means your head lifts a little, but it's still hanging, but you're not trying to strain your neck to reach the head to the shin, that's kind of a better position. We want it quite relaxed here. Walk the hands slightly more forward and heel to creep that foot slightly forward. We're taking a wider stance with this. Tuck the back toes. And again, this time for first one, my chest is stuck on top of my thigh. just for some support here as I push into the heel and as I sink into that right knee. Taking those few breaths here. Nice. And now again, one step for the foot to move a little wider. So my body now, this right side of my body is touching the inside of the thigh. Push back into the heel, dropping into your posture. This time bring the hand on the inside of the foot, heel toe the foot a little wider, and then holding here. So we're not going to drop the body down this time, even though you might be able to. We're going to stay relatively high with the body. Nice, and get your hands ready to push yourself back into your downward facing dog, wiggling those heels out when you get there, dropping into a nice loose head. Nice. Okay, from you step your right foot forward and you're going to turn to face the long edge of the mat. Walk the hands to that left side and just press the body down to your fold. Walk the hands to the right side and press the body down into your fold. Hands towards the center, under the shoulders, bend, turning the right toes out and the left toes out. Start to bend into that right knee and drop the hip. Your hands can remain on the floor for help. We're not going to lift the body up today. What I want you to slowly do is take the left toes to point upwards towards the ceiling. That way we're getting that range of motion in that left hip by turning the toe up to the ceiling, and it feels like your bum might be dropping towards the floor. Nice, and just let it hold there. Roll your toe back to the mat and come back into your forward fold, and this time as you've landed kind of halfway here, we're going to drop down into your fold, elbows resting towards the floor. Roll yourself halfway lift. Turn the toes out again. Use your hands to help support you. Bend into the left knee. Again, you were keeping the body quite low. Focusing instead on turning the right toes up towards the ceiling, again, to get that range of motion in that right hip. And just sometimes that awareness of the range of motion in your hips. And again, the more you kind of crank the toes up to the ceiling, you may find that your bum just naturally may or may not hit the floor. That's fine. Now direct the toes back towards the floor, lift the hips up, and calm down for your second fold. Feel free to take the arms out to the side, let the head hang downward. Nice, bring the hands under the shoulders, roll yourself up halfway lift, walk the hands to the front of the mat and come into your downward facing dog, walking the heels out one at a time. We're going to turn the feet out to the sides a little and then bend the knees. As you bend the knees and sink the weight backwards, your heels will lift up and we're going to drop down. Again, this would feel a little bit like a downward dog squat / child's pose. All jumbled together.
Looking at the heels and see if we can direct them towards the floor. Nice one. Okay, from here, come back to all fours, moving into your cat and cow. Before we come to seated, so whenever you're ready, we're literally going to slide ourselves onto our bums and legs out to the front. Starting with bringing the right ankle over that left thigh. And again, I'm going to use my elbow a little, not to shove it down, but to sort of give it a massage, starting from a little bit of the middle of the thigh, and just kind of iron and like knead the muscle all the way towards the knee. And then just give it a nice little hold there. You could even go like how we started with both elbows kind of on the sole of the foot. One on the sole of the foot and the other one on that inner thigh. And pull it outwards. Push it outwards. Nice. And roll yourself up. Again, right hand can go on the right sole of the foot for your twist. Or you could choose to come a little lower, bring somewhere on the back of the upper arm towards it. And again, take your time, hands to slowly coax into the twist. Nice. And then come up. Starting to bend the knee, we're going to bring the left foot up, hands behind the knee, and start to lift the chest high. Feeling into that sensation on the right side of the back of the glute. Should feel like actually quite a little bit deeper into the muscle on that right side. Nice. I'm going to slide that left foot forward. Now take the right foot or the right sole on the inside of that left foot. And you're going to use your hands to sort of roll the barrel of the thighs open. So a nice massage, maybe shuffle through the hips. We want the right thigh especially to just have a little bit of a relax there. Nice. And from here, fingertips come to frame that long left leg as we drape the body down. Now, if your body doesn't drape down, just keep walking the hands forward and then everything to relax down. So again, you're not straining and turtling the body, just using your hands as a helpful support to let the body relax. Nice. Roll yourself up back to a seated position. Let's do the other side. Right leg to extend and the left ankle over the thigh. Again, just taking your time here, using the elbow. Give that inner thigh a little bit of a massage. And then widen up the elbows. Releasing the elbows, choosing your twist version, either the back of the upper arm and just coaxing the body to open. Or your hand can hold the foot. Nice, roll it back to the front, creep the fingertips forward, and we're going to fold down. I realize I may have done that out of order. Maybe I haven't. And again, remember using the hands as a support, not a pulley system. Keeping the upper back relaxed. Rolling yourself back up, bending into that left knee, and then lifting that chest up. Trying to really pull yourself nice and tall. And this time feeling it in the left side of our glutes. Slide the leg forward, bring the left sole on the inner thigh, and then again just rolling the barrels of the thighs a little bit open. Before turning to frame the foot and drawing yourself down. Yeah, that's right, I added an extra fold on this side. It's alright, more folds the merrier. And again, remember just choosing arm positions where you can support the relaxation of the top of the body, or rather the non-straining of the top of the body. And slowly now moving up, releasing the legs, and then bring the soles of the feet together and slide them forward. We're going for that diamond shape instead today. Holding anywhere on the leg, we're going to roll backwards into the back of the bum and then roll forwards, dropping sort of the chest towards the front, roll backwards, rounding into the spine, roll forwards, and again backwards, and forwards. And at some point, maybe in the next one, we're going to park somewhere forward. It's quite nice to maybe, I like to take the elbows sort of right, it's above the ankle, like 2 inches above the ankle. And underneath the bone, the shin bone a little. It's quite a nice place to give a little bit of a massage too. Let your elbows rest there if it feels good for you too. If you want to change the spot, you could slightly work higher up under that shin bone. For me, anyway, let me know what it feels like for you. It releases quite a lot of tension from the legs. It feels like what it is, your elbows digging into your calf muscle under your shin bone. But it feels quite lovely at the same time. Just a few more breaths here before we come to sort of massaging the face, and then we're going to take a shavasana. Ooh, release your elbows. Come back up to seated, and let's head into one vinyasa before we meet in our seated position. Moving through upward dog and downward facing dog. And let's come to a seated position in front of us. So maybe for the first bit, let's cross our legs the way that it feels a little bit more unusual. And then starting with just a little bit of a shoulder shrug, just to ease off any tension in the shoulders. And then pause there. Let the shoulders relax, arms relax.
Lower jaw, release. You're going to take that left ear to the left shoulder. And again, it doesn't need to drop that far. We're just going to be aware of what it's doing, how much or how little it's dropping. And any tension you feel in this right side of the neck. Taking your left hand, you're just literally going to very lightly, really don't use that much pressure, to just use your fingers to smooth down the muscles in the neck. And then you're going to pull it a little bit under your t-shirt line, where you touch your collarbone, and then just hold it there. I feel like that point can be such a release point for the length of that muscle. And then again, take those fingers, follow that side of the neck, and then again, not hard, and we're going to pause and hold that point. At the top of the collarbone. And then bring the head back up. Take a second there. Before allowing that right ear come to the right shoulder. Rest here for a second. Taking right hand to that left neck. And again, slowly. You can either just slide it down, or you could kind of ripple the fingers a little bit. So you prod it all the way down towards that, again, right under the t-shirt line where you start to feel the collarbone. And then just hold it there. One more time. Hold it there. And then release the hand. Bring your head back up to neutral. Shoulders release. You're taking your hands now towards your chin, and you're literally doing these pinchy movements. Just give your chin a little bit of a squeeze. And again, we're not going that hard here. And now you're gonna walk your way up, like you're kneading your way up the jaw, not that hard. And you'll feel little tender points at the end of your jaw, at the top of the jaw, and you're just gonna press it there. Let's go to like a 30% press. Jaw relaxed. And then use the fingers to pull down the sides of the neck, again stopping at the collarbone. Big breath in. And exhale. Nice, release those hands. This time we're taking fingers and we're going to flutter them like this from the inside of the nose. So take your finger at the base of the nose and another one just slightly higher, and give it a bit of a squeeze and a massage. And then your pointer finger is going to get involved, and you're just going to go, ooh, pull it a little to the side. And then slide the fingers, maybe turn the hands. So you come towards your temples and hairline and hold it there. Now, if the angle was awkward, you could try just starting with the palms facing each other. I find I can get these muscles a little easier this way though. Hold and squeeze. And then just a gentle glide all the way up. Just turn the fingers, keep gliding and tap, kind of like prodding the fingers all the way to temples, towards hairline. Pull up towards the hairline, a little squeeze there. And release. Okay, we'll do it one more time. Squeeze into these muscles a little. Pointer finger on. Little knee turn, little knee all the way to hairline squeeze. And this time we're going to take 2 fingers, go to the sides of the jaw. And then keep working down the sides of the neck. Hold at the collarbone. Go under the collarbone. Hold there for a sec. Take a deep breath in. And let's release those hands. Last one, we're just going to bend our 2 fingers and use the knuckles to just very gently, again not too hard, kind of roll up and below the brows. Just nice and gentle. Now when you've come to your temples, just hold it there. Squeeze a little and let's release. Roll through the shoulders, relax the body. And let's come down to lie in our Shavasana. So again, make yourself as comfortable as you can. Feel free to grab some blankets, socks, jumpers, pillows. The whole body just sinking to the floor, as relaxed as possible. Release the lower jaw from any holding sensation. And if you'd like to, you can bring the soles of the feet together while you lie down and allow the knees to flop out to the side. Maybe nice if you take 2 pillows under the knees as well. So if you find actually that you've done that and you're like, nah, it doesn't feel very good for you, just bring them straight again or bring the feet on the mat. And perhaps like thinking back to how we started the class about finding these little moments where you just are present with what you are in, but also creating and allowing yourself that space to stop for a second, take a breath. Making that space and practicing having that space without reaching for any distraction physically, or maybe even with your mind. Not to say we want to restrict the mind from whatever it's thinking about, but maybe sometimes it's quite a nice little practice to gently just like guide it back very calmly and kindly to the more simple parts of this exact moment. For example, maybe guiding the attention back of your mind to the sound of your breath moving in, your breath moving out. The simplicity of the feeling of your rib cage blooming upwards, dropping down. Maybe just the niceness of the body lying on the floor, feeling heavy and relaxed. In these last few moments of your Shavasana, let yourself lean into that simplicity. And taking a nice slow breath in and exhale. On your next breath in, maybe stretch out your arms and legs, taking a full body stretch open or long. And then roll yourself back up into seated. Bringing palms in prayer. Thank you so much for joining. And I hope you found that really helpful today. Thank you. Just, I guess, a little thing we may try is to maybe list the online classes now with a bit more specificity on the schedule. So you may find it'll still be there, but you may find that the name will sort of be more specific, just to be able to explore different styles like like a yin yang or a flow and nidra, or an ashtanga or a hatha, just to give, I mean, we do that anyway, but in the titles you may start to see a little bit more variety. Thank you so much. Goodbye.